Hi everyone, this is Z and welcome to Healing with Z, a space of intentional living where we find natural ways to take care of the mind, the body, and the soul. So today I am officially 27-day seizure-free and medication-free. So as I said in my previous video, which, if you look at it, you will get to understand what this is all about. I weaned myself off of Keppra, and I took my last pill on September 30th. And then on October 1st, in the middle of the night, I think it was like around 11:30, I had a seizure. I had a grand mal seizure, and I wouldn't have known that I had a seizure if my husband wasn't there, like waking me up and holding me and crying when I came to finally. After about 20 minutes of being out of it, not 20 minutes of seizing, but 20 minutes of being out of it. And so I have remained medication free because I couldn't do it. I could not do it. So I decided to slowly wean myself off during the month of August and September, being September 30th being the last day I took those toxic pills. And so I have been unmedicated since. And I went to go see my neurologist on October 22nd, and I told him that I was feeling great. I told him that I was strictly keto. When I first told him that I was strictly keto and I told him everything that I eat, which is not much, he was like, okay, well, you still need to take your medication because what you are doing is good. However, it only means that you're going to be a healthy grandma. That's what he told me, that I'll be a healthy grandma. But I can see the changes. I can feel the changes. Look at the skin. Look at it. There is nothing on here besides black castor oil, vitamin E, and rosehip oil. That is it. That's all that's on the skin. And look at it, like no pimples. Look at it. And I feel great internally. And with the strict keto, I only ate 2 meals a day. As I mentioned in my previous video as well, that I only eat 2 meals a day. Breakfast, which is starting at 10 a.m. And then I have my lunch, which can be like at 2 or 3, depending on how I feel. But that 10 a.m. meal is so nutritious that I am not hungry until like 2. And even then, 2, 3 o'clock, I'm not even hungry, but I'm forcing myself to eat because I don't want to be hungry at like 6, 7 o'clock and then have to eat later. And so that's why I force myself to eat between 2 and 3 so that at 4 o'clock I can close the eating window and I'm good for the day. And then at night for my bedtime snack is a cup of rooibos tea, unsweetened, and a pouch of magnesium. And then I'm in bed by 9:30, and I'm up at 5 a.m. and I go to CrossFit, and I come back from CrossFit and I go for my 5-mile walk every day, and I feel amazing. Okay. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is this whole thing with the medication. So initially, when I was struggling with being on Keppra, I told my doctor that I cannot do this anymore. I am not sleeping. I am having some depressed feelings that I'm not, used to. And he said to me, okay, we are going to switch your medication. We're going to give you Briviact. And I'm like, okay, what is that? And he was like, oh no, it is the Mercedes-Benz of anticonvulsant medication. I'm already opposed to medication. Now, medication, it's not my thing. I don't like it. I don't want to like it. And so I was like very skeptical about this whole thing. And so he was like, okay, your insurance have to approve it, but for now we will give you a voucher so that you can go and pick up this prescription while we work on your insurance to approve it, and so that your follow-up refills through your insurance. So I went and picked up the prescription, but I never took it because I didn't feel comfortable with the whole notion of getting on a new medication, not knowing if my insurance is going to approve it. And if they don't approve it and I'm already hooked on this medication for a month, then what's going to happen if I can now not get it for the next month? Not only that, I didn't want to deal with the side effects. I already tried Keppra and I knew like going in that it had side effects, but I didn't realize that it was that severe. So I didn't want to take any chances with Briviact. And it's just like, I don't know. I need to get myself off of this medication and go about this the way that makes sense to me. And that way is by listening to my body. So I mentioned to you guys that I am in this epilepsy group, and I read all sorts of like posts that these people are posting, and it is just so sad. Not all of them, but most of them are like really sad. Like people are on like 3-4 types of medications. They have all sorts of stuff going on. It is just so sad. And I'm like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to put myself in that position, right? So the Briviact, then a few days ago, I got a text message from my pharmacy, because I guess it's like time now for me to refill, right? And I got a message saying that my insurance didn't approve it, the refill. And I was like, okay, so what would have happened had I taken this sample that they gave me, like the month supply, through the voucher? Being that now that this has run out, because I didn't take it, but it would have had ran out by then, right? And now my insurance is like, nah, we cannot cover that. It's too expensive, or whatever reason they gave for why not, and so I looked at the text message and I was like, okay, well, thank God I don't need this medication. I don't rely on it for my livelihood, for me to live. And so I was like, so they didn't approve it. Great, I don't care, And then I got another text message from my pharmacist saying, oh, well, your provider, I guess, talked to them and they ended up approving it, but we're out of stock. And we will text you to let you know when we are back in stock. And I was like, look at that. Not only did the insurance approve, but now even with the approval, they don't have any in stock. Now, what would I have done if I had taken this pill and I was relying on it to save my life? Because judging from everything that I've read, when you miss these pills, you do get a seizure. And my seizures are not just your typical, like, your easy breezy, like vocal aware. And no, I lose consciousness. Like I collapse, and it is bad. I wake up and the side of my tongue is all bruised and bloody, and it is not fun. So I'm like, no, I don't want to have to go through this. If there is a natural way for me to go about this, that is the way that I'm going to go about it. I'm going to listen to this body, and I'm going to honor it, and I am going to do whatever it takes, and trust and believe when I tell you that I will do whatever it takes to rid myself of this illness, not by medication, because medication, I have realized, just masks the symptoms. It does not cure. It just masks the symptoms. And no, that is not what I want to do. So no, I will be back and we will discuss in the next video my progress and how are things looking thus far. Thank you for watching. Until next time.